Today we will be learning about the Zoot riots that occurred during World War II. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to determine what caused these riots in the city of Los Angeles. Before we go into today's main topic, let's go over some background information. In 1910, Mexico was experiencing various armed struggles that would lead to the end of dictatorships. This event would become known as the Mexican Revolution. Because there was a lot of violence going on, it pushed thousands of Mexicans to flee to the southwestern region of the United States. By the late 1930s, at least 3 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans were living in the United States. Although they did spread throughout various regions, the city of Los Angeles became the largest Mexican American community in the United States. One of the issues that was occurring in the 1940s was that Mexican American youth cannot identify themselves neither with Mexican nor with American tradition. This caused them to form their own sense of style of speech and dress. As the country did face the Great Depression, people visited popular venues such as dance halls so they could socialize and ease the stress. At the same time, the Harlem Renaissance was occurring in Harlem, which was an artistic and social explosion for the African American community. The artists gave way to a new dress style known as the Zoot suit. So you can see in this image, you can see what consisted of this suit, which was the long jacket, the long glitter chain, and the hat. This new image spread throughout the United States and it became a popular form of style among Mexican Americans, African Americans, and other minority groups. For the Latino youth, this was the preferred style, which became known as pachucos. You can also see in this image both men and women used this style. Although it was a popular style in the United States, it gained a racist reputation among the Anglo community. In the end, the Zoot Suit style labeled minority urban youth as juvenile delinquents and gang members. Also, with U.S. entry in World War II, items like wool and other textile items were rationed. These items were used to make these Zoot suits. But even though they were rationed, bootleg tailors continued to make these famous suits. This did cause tensions among Americans because they viewed these suits as offensive and unpatriotic, especially because it was a waste of resources. By the late 1940s, Mexican Americans continued to face racial segregation in various areas such as schools, restaurants, swimming pools, and housing. The United States also entered the war, which called off many men to go to fight, leaving a large labor shortage. In order to fill this gap, the United States created the Bracero program, which imported Mexican workers from Mexico to fill the agricultural labor shortage, increasing the Mexican population. Mexican Americans continue to face discrimination, especially in the criminal justice system. This was the occurrence in the Sleepy Lagoon case, which a Mexican American teenager was found dead and suspected to be murdered. This led to the arrest of at least 600 Mexican American teenagers with Zoot Suit styles. In the end, 22 Mexican Americans were found guilty in this controversial case. As you can see in these images, this case became spread out in newspapers and caused much controversy. If you feel like you would like to learn more about this case, you can press on this link to learn more about it. By the summer of 1943, the tensions increased between Mexican Zoot Suiters and U.S. servicemen. Because they were Zoot Suiters, the sailors resented these men, viewing them as draft dodgers. Instead of fighting for their nation, they were at the home front using excessive resources and just walking around the city. By May and June, rioting had begun, especially in Los Angeles. Thousands of U.S. servicemen participated in these violent attacks among these youth by shouting racial slurs and stripping them of their clothes out on the streets.